Talk about the purpose of mediation when it comes to PFAs. Joining us now is the Baroness Juliane von Schmeling from the Baroness Consulting and Mediation in Wilkes-Barre. Juliane, nice to have you back on the show.
Happy to be back, Dave.
Well, when we talk about PFAs, they're often for domestic violence. Why would one want to use a PFA, or what's the purpose of that?
Well, the purpose of the PFA originally is the prevention of domestic violence. That's what it was designed for. For example, you can't get a PFA if you're just friends in a home. If neighbors can't get PFAs against each other, they have to either be related or sexually involved in order to be able to even be eligible to file for a PFA. And the purpose of PFA is to prevent the other person in, if they're drinking, if they're whatever, and they become violent after a while. To keep these people apart, and especially when children are involved, to make sure that there are no violent interactions that could be life-threatening or causing death, injury and death. Tell
me, in your business, you often run into fake PFA situations. What do you mean by a fake PFA?
It is a trend that's it's very sad. I've seen it for years. It flares up some years. It's more than others. We had for a year or so, we had the luck in Luzerne County that a new judge had decided that he was going to crack down on fake PFAs and put the other accusing party in jail if they violated it. Meaning, but that doesn't really happen. I haven't seen it again in recent years. A PFA is granted oftentimes on allegations, and the judges tend to err on the side of caution because, God forbid, they didn't grant the PFA and something happens.
Right.
Well, now it's a disaster. But for that, so many other people suffer with what I call a fake PFA, where an allegation is made, but the point is not trying to protect yourself or your children, it's to gain monetary benefits, basically blackmail the other party, get a party out of the home very quickly without having to pay a settlement or getting the party to set up in a second home. I was a victim of that years ago. It's a very nasty situation. You stand in front of a judge, go, I didn't do anything. But if there's a baby involved, it's granted very quickly, and the other party is the primary owner of the home. You have that, but that is not an isolated case. This happens constantly. There's attorneys out there that when you come in, and I've heard it, I've seen it, that come in and you say you're thinking of filing for divorce, and the question is who's in the house, or do you want to stay in the house? Well, then we need to file a PFA. I'm like,
well, and you mentioned that in the case of custody, divorce proceedings, these PFAs can be used as an ugly tool.
Excuse me, they're a very ugly tool because until the actual hearing occurs and you can plead your case, you're not able, if the allegations are against you, you're not able to see your children in that time, whether they're involved or not. And then when the PFA is granted on some cockamamie story possibly, I'm not saying all PFAs are bad, but I said there's a large amount that's too large, in my opinion, where children are the victims, then they can't see that other parent on a regular basis. The parent can't just call or stop by or pick them up for a quick bite to eat because they could end up in jail. I've had cases like that. They literally end up in jail by wanting to spend some time with their children.
All right, for our viewers that may need your help in these types of situations, Juliane, how can they get in touch with you?
They can call our number at 570-814-3563 or go to our website at thebaroness.biz. And as always, our first consults are free.
All right, the Baroness Juliane von Schmeling with the Baroness Consulting and Mediation in Wilkes-Barre. Thanks so much for being here. We'll catch you again next time.
Looking forward to it, Dave.